Have you ever grabbed your guitar and you go and you sit down and you're ready to practice, but you're not really sure what you should be working on or what steps to take next to improve your skills? This happens to guitarists of all skill levels, whether you're a beginner who just started out or you're an advanced player who's been playing for decades. Today, we're going to be talking about the 5 aspects of practicing that everyone should implement into their routine and how you can craft a practice routine specific to yourself at any skill level using these 5 aspects to dramatically improve your playing. If you implement these 5 pillars into your practice routine, I guarantee you'll start seeing improvement almost immediately. The first aspect of practicing that you should always be working on is rhythm. You can practice rhythm in multiple ways. It can come from anything from practicing chord strumming patterns to practicing keeping your shreddy guitar solo licks in time. I highly recommend when you're practicing your rhythm that you start using a metronome if you aren't already and you understand how to use one. You can download a bunch of free metronome apps on your phone. Doesn't really matter which one you're using. You want to make sure you find a BPM or beats per minute that you're comfortable with, whatever you're currently practicing, and learn to lock in with that time. It's very important for all aspects of music to be able to lock in with the rhythm and play in time. The second aspect that you want to be working on with every practice routine is technique. There's a variety of different things that you can work on with technique. You don't have to work on them all every day, but you want to identify where your weaknesses are and work on improving those specific aspects. For example, if you feel like your picking hand is cramping up when you're trying to play faster, or if you're strumming, you're getting caught in between the strings, that's a technique issue that you have identified, and then you can work on it. So if you're cramping up, make sure you try to reduce tension in that hand. In your left hand, if you need to work on left hand issues with your technique, make sure you're not bending your wrist at any unusual angles. You don't want to give yourself carpal tunnel. That's going to make guitar playing much more difficult. Another very important part of practicing technique is making sure you're sitting with correct posture, making sure your guitar is held in a comfortable way, that you're not at any unusual angles, that your shoulders are straight and aligned. You don't want to be playing at any weird angles with your arms pointed out in different directions or anything like that. It's going to greatly hinder you in the long run. And for more advanced players, for technique, you want to be working on making sure your hands are staying synced up, your left and right hands, that they're playing together. So practicing syncing those up, making sure you work on different picking techniques, different aspects. Technique can include alternate picking, legato, playing staccato, different kinds of fun, flashy guitar things like sweep picking or tapping. Those are all going to be included under technique. The third aspect of practicing that we want to be working on all the time, and I think is often severely neglected, is music theory. A lot of people get scared of music theory. They've heard a lot of rumors of it being really hard, but it's really not if you approach it at a level that you're comfortable with. Music theory can include everything from basic bar chords to simple scales like the pentatonic. Learning those is very important, especially as a beginner, and understanding what's going on with those. One of the main, most important things about learning music theory is so that you can communicate with other musicians and that you can learn things from other people, including online. If someone says play a G major chord, that's part of music theory. If you don't know how to play a G major chord, you should probably learn that. If you're a more advanced player, maybe you're focusing on learning modes, different scale shapes, more advanced chords. Depending on where you're at, you're going to want to craft your music theory practice session to your own needs. This part can be practiced even without your guitar. Learning about different aspects of music while you're away from your guitar and then coming back and implementing them to your guitar can also be greatly beneficial. The fourth aspect of building your own practice routine is speed. Speed is not something that everyone should be super worried about, but if you're at the point where you're feeling like you want to bump up your speed and work on that, definitely something you want to implement to your practice routine. Even if you're a beginner, something you want to think about a little bit. Practicing swapping between your chord changes a little quicker, moving around your power chords more, playing riffs up to speed, and getting those fingers moving. Very important thing about the speed portion of our practice sessions, you don't want to get sloppy. Bumping up your speed but having everything be a big mess, that's not practicing. You're just making things harder for yourself, and it's going to be very detrimental in the long run. So make sure when you're bumping your speed up, you're practicing with a metronome or at least working with a song or some kind of drum track that you can practice staying along with, staying in time, making sure your hands aren't getting sloppy and you're not hitting all kinds of wrong notes. Be very careful when you're working on pumping your speed up. Otherwise, you'll develop bad habits. The last aspect of developing our practice routine, and one that I think is very important, is to learn entire songs, not just one riff. If you're learning songs, sometimes people will be like, we'll just learn like the intro riff or the main riff of the song and then feel like they're done. You want to learn entire songs all the way through. If you're a beginner or intermediate, depending on the song, you don't necessarily have to learn a guitar solo if that's in there, or if you just want to be a rhythm guitar player. Don't worry about that. But you want to get all the riffs down, whatever chord progressions are going on, practice playing along with that song. If you guys are on YouTube, a really good way of doing that is pull up whatever song you're learning. Once you have all the riffs down, turn the speed down on the video so you can play along with the song. It'll keep all the pitches the same, so you can strum along with the song, play the riffs along with it, play it a little slower, and that'll be a lot easier at first to be able to stick with the song and have fun jamming along with it. Being able to learn a whole song, get all those riffs down, and play through a song continuously is really important for a guitar player or really any musician. Having the endurance to play through a whole song with your hands is very important, and you'll be able to identify a lot of issues in your technique. If you're trying to play through a song and maybe you're getting tired, your hands cramping up, you probably have too much tension somewhere, and you're going to want to look into that. And it'll give you a lot of practice sticking with the rhythm the whole time. Really playing along with the song is going to be a culmination of a lot of these different aspects of our practice routine, and implementing them over an entire song and really putting your practicing to the test. If you guys have anything that you like to implement into your practice routine, or if you just have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great one.